someone like to make a motion to approve or amend the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda as stated.
Second.
Motion by trustee Larson and a quick second by trustee Hubbard. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the agenda is approved. Number 8 is approval of the consent agenda. There's 2 items on the consent agenda. One is the regular board meeting minutes for April 15th, 2025, and the other is the April 2025 financials. Would someone like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda as is.
Motion by trustee Fasano
Second.
and a second by trustee Lowe. Any discussion? Then all in favor,
Yep.
a roll call?
Beechman,
Aye.
Ford, Hubbard, Larson,
Aye.
Lowe,
Aye.
Russo,
Aye.
Fasano, aye.
And the consent agenda is approved. Number 9, new business. Approval of the FY26 budget.
So, sorry, I'm looking for my, the budget, we did not change anything on the budget as it was presented at the Cal meeting. I'm looking at my director's report, page 17 of your packet. So there were no changes made, and so this draft is the same as what you saw at the Cal meeting. The total expenditures for fiscal year '26 are just over $17,000 less than the fiscal year '25 budget. And the revenues are expected to increase by $308,000 plus, which over what we had in revenue for fiscal year '25. We've also budgeted a transfer into special reserves at the end of fiscal year '26 for just over $1 million. And that's the same information that I presented at the county. That's all I have.
Any comments or questions? Joe, just for the people listening at home on BATV, would you just talk about that transfer to the special reserve fund?
So at the end of the fiscal year, any money that has not been spent during the year that sum at the end of the year is transferred into our special reserve fund. That special reserve fund is used for capital improvement projects. And with our renovation project coming up, the intention is that any money that we transfer at the end of this year and next year will go towards the renovation project.
Thank you. And the only other thing I would note is that there's a change, a little bit of a shift of money to programs and supplies, which is a new emphasis, an ongoing emphasis of,
Yes.
of programming, so that,
Right, the overall budget looks very different from previous budgets because we just rearranged it, we recategorized a few things, but all of the same items are still there, they're just presented slightly differently.
so if there's no other discussion, we'll need a roll call vote, but any questions or comments?
So I move to approve the fiscal year 2026 budget.
So a motion by trustee Larson,
Second?
second by trustee Fasano. Discussion or questions? Mary Ann, would you call the roll?
Yes. Beechman,
Aye.
Ford, Hubbard, Larson,
Aye.
Lowe,
Aye.
Russo,
Aye.
Fasano, aye.
And it is approved unanimously. Okay, next item under new business is the FY26 board calendar and library closures.
So at the Cal meeting, we discussed changing the July Cal meeting, earlier this month at the Cal meeting, we discussed changing the July 2025 Cal meeting from, Thursday, July 3rd to Wednesday, July 2nd because of the holiday weekend fast approaching, so that's the only change that was made. to the Cal meeting schedule and the board meeting schedule. And then for the library closings, which is that listed separately? It's together, yeah. There is one change that we have July 4th, Independence Day, August 15th. It's for a full day for Staff Development Day because that's when we're going to be doing field trips in preparation for the renovation project. August 31st and September 1st for Labor Day and the Sunday preceding. November 21st, half day for Staff Development Day. November 26th, we close at 5. November 27th and 28th, we're closed Thanksgiving Day, and a new thing for fiscal year 26 is to close the day after Thanksgiving. Also, just to note, I sent an email out to libraries in the library listserv through Rails, and I got 45 responses with my question, how many of you are open or closed the day after Thanksgiving? I got 45 responses, and 30 libraries are closed the day after Thanksgiving, 15 remain open, and someone pointed out that actually the day after Thanksgiving is a recognized state holiday, which I didn't know. And then we looked at visits on the day after Thanksgiving in the library, and they range anywhere from 300 to 400 visitors for the entire day. But just to compare that, this past Friday, we had over 300 visitors just in the first 2 hours. So it is a lot lower on the day after Thanksgiving than our normal visitation. Okay. So that is November 27th, and that's 28th. And then December 24th, Christmas Eve, December 25th, Christmas Day, December 31st, New Year's Eve, January 1st, New Year's Day. February 20th is a staff development day. We're closed in the morning. We are always closed on the Sunday of Easter. And then one change I'd like to make is instead of being closed for staff development day on May 15th, we'd like to move it up to May 6th because that same week of the 15th is when we do a lot of school visits for summer reading. So it would be very difficult to reschedule that and also have staff development day. So that would be May 6th. We're closed from 9 to 1. And then we are closed on the 24th and 25th of May for Memorial Day and the Sunday preceding. And Lisa.
Yes, sorry, May 8th, I think you mean. May 8th is a Friday,
Oh, is it?
I think, unless I'm looking at my
For
calendar wrong.
2026?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, sorry, May 8th.
that's okay, just so there's no
Gosh.
confusion.
Good call, good call. Thank you for catching that. May 8th.
Any discussion or comments? Chris?
I just wanted to bring up that the school board and the park district are meeting at the same time right now, and I think in the future it'd be advantageous to perhaps meet with them to not have all of our meetings at the same time. So perhaps if we wanted to, or if the community wanted to, they could visit all the meetings without having a conflict. So I realize that it's not necessarily practical for this year, but I think it's something that we should look forward to when we look at the schedule again.
Thank you, Chris. Other questions or comments? Concerning the closings, I would just say, it's great to have a wonderful building and it's great to have a wonderful collection, but it's the staff that really makes a difference. And that day after Thanksgiving was a low attendance day and something that staff wanted. So this is a nice opportunity to show our support for the staff and recognize how outstanding they are. So that's a nice change.
And it is much appreciated by the staff.
Maybe point out that it wasn't the staff that asked for that, it was as
No.
we discussed the closings, and
Right.
as a board, we said, wait, why are we open after Thanksgiving when, so.
Thank you.
It was a very happy surprise.
Would someone like to make a motion?
I will make a motion to accept the meeting schedule and library closing schedule.
Second. As amended.
Oh, as amended, thank you, not as presented, but as amended.
So a motion by trustee Deachman and a second by trustee Hubbard. last chance for discussion or comments, then we can do just a
Just a
voice vote. So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And it is approved. Then the last item on new business is confirming product architecture and design as architect of record for the renovation project.
So it requires the board to officially acknowledge or confirm that they are our architect of record. Don and I are gonna be meeting with Tiffany and Dan, their two main architects, tomorrow to begin contract negotiations. So we just need somebody to make a motion to confirm that they are the architect of record.
Prior to that, I have a question.
Yeah.
What was the general guidance provided to you by Mark Litzman regarding that?
Oh, I wish I had brought it.
It's general.
Well, he listed several things. He kind of gave guidelines about, what percentage we can expect that the architects would ask for their services.
Sure.
That was the big one. There were some other things, and I'm sorry, I don't remember. I can share it with the board though in an email.
Okay.
He had about 7 things listed, just as food for thought. Oh, Don,
I think the main thing is you'll have an addendum to the
yes.
standard contract.
Meaning what, sorry?
You have the standard architect contract form. He'll have an addendum that we will attach to that.
Oh,
The lawyer will provide.
Oh, the lawyer's gonna prepare an addendum to the standard contract that
Right.
modifies
Yes.
that standard agreement for what we
Right.
want.
Yes.
Okay.
He did the same thing for the roofing project.
Yeah.
Sure, okay.
Any other questions or comments? Then would you like to make a motion?
I also move that we confirm product architecture and design as architect of record for renovation project.
Motion by trustee Fasano,
I'll second that.
second by trustee Deachman. Any discussion or questions? Then just a voice vote again.
Yep.
So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that is approved. Okay. Moving on, number 10, President's Report. I just again want to recognize Jenny Collada, trustee for 8 years during interesting days. I also want to thank everyone who ran for library trustee in the April 11th election. I want to congratulate Catherine Hubbard, Marianne Fasano, and Christy Ford for being re-elected. And I want to welcome Chris Lowe, who has broad experience that he's bringing to the library, and he's hit the ground running by participating in several meetings already. So we've appreciated that. So we've got a good crew on board. The last thing I just want to mention is, and I know the librarians will mention it, but summer reading is a great time, or summer is a great time to connect with the library, and summer reading is a great program for people of all ages. Does anyone else on the board have any comments to share?
Yeah, just as a reiteration, prior to this meeting, we were supposed to meet for the Library Leader Award, but due to unforeseen circumstances, we did have to move the meeting, so it'll be after this meeting, so we will have the Library Leader Award person chosen by our next meeting.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And anybody else? And then I actually forgot one thing. We will conclude the director's evaluation at our June 17th meeting. So that got delayed a little bit, but we're on schedule, okay. So that'll be June 17th. All right, moving on, number 11, directors and librarians reports.
So a lot of what's in my report we've already discussed, but I'll go straight to strategic plan updates. For engaging our community, we had several things. Develop and encouraging more partnerships. Misty jumped worked with a bunch of local businesses to get sponsorships for the summer reading program, and we had many businesses donate at least 100 coupons that we can give away as prizes to participants. Misty and Liesel attended the Batavia Geneva Area Kiwanis Club meeting on April 3rd to discuss youth and family services and home delivery. And we also, the library worked with Operation Support Our Troops to do the supply drive for soldiers. For prioritizing innovative, inclusive, and responsive programs and services, YS and ATS Youth Services and Adult and Teen Services partnered with a veteran from the local VFW for the taste testing MRE program as part of our One Book, One Batavia. For expanding communications, we've increased our space in the Batavian from 8 pages to 10 pages, which will allow us to add more special content and highlights up for the library in addition to the program schedule. So it gives us a little more flexibility about what we can put in the Batavia and share with people in the community. Provide excellent user experiences. We optimized function and comfort of library spaces. The renovation task force, which was made up of Kathy Mocher, myself, Don Robinson, Andrew Deachman, and Daniel Russo, met on the 21st of April to review architectural services submissions for the renovation project, and we selected the top 3 firms, and I scheduled presentations for May 7th. We held the first pre-bid meeting with BTC for the roof replacement project. A second pre-bid meeting just happened last week on Friday. And
When are we opening bids on that?
sorry?
When are we opening bids for that?
30th.
30th, okay.
Yes,
Which day?
the 30th. Yeah. For improving library accessibility, the Wi-Fi upgrade was completed on April 19th, and the new system provides increased internet speeds and coverage throughout the building and improves access and usability for patrons using their own devices to access the internet. And Danielle and I have started training with Diligent, which is the new platform I mentioned at the COW meeting, for transparency, communication, and board documents. We'll start using that in June with a demonstration of how it works at the June COW meeting. All of a sudden it hit me that next month is June, and that's
Yes.
kind of crazy to me.
Usually follows May.
Yeah, I know. For nurturing a positive and collaborative culture, we promote collaborative, positive team dynamics by, we expanded our One Book, One Batavia reading program to all ages as a community read. We with themed programs and a donation drive, which I mentioned earlier. This was done through a partnership of many departments here at the library: adult and teen services, youth services, promotional services, with additional assistance from facilities and circulation. The S-Drive cleanup project, we completed that on May 5th. It's a shared network drive where all staff files are stored and accessed. All staff participated in a month-long cleanup process to weed through 20 years of files.
God bless you all.
The new shared network drive is much cleaner, better organized, and much easier to navigate and find information. Investing in staff development, Megan O'Keefe taught a library journal class for the Jumpstart Inclusive Cataloging course. And I attended a local directors meeting at DeKalb Public Library on the 24th, where we discussed library renovation projects and other topics of library stuff. And that's that for a strategic plan.
Just before moving on, the Wi-Fi upgrade is for the parking lot too, so if our,
It reaches into the parking lot, but we did not specifically put a Wi-Fi access point on the outside of the building. We've discussed that we could add that in the future if we'd like to, spread the Wi-Fi further out in the parking lot.
but people should still be able to connect from the parking lot.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So that's, not everybody knows about that, but when your Wi-Fi goes out at home or whatever, that's a nice option to know about. Okay, thank you.
Can you also access it from the garden?
Does it reach the garden?
Yeah, all the seating areas out here, the reading garden by youth services, yeah.
We have regulars that use it in the parking lot in the morning.
That's good to know.
I remember it was popular during COVID. People would come and
Yes.
sit in the parking lot when the building was closed.
In terms of donations in the month of April, we had a $20 online donation to the Community Foundation. And that was the only donation in April. May staff updates. We have a new part-time youth services associate, Courtney Philippin, who started this week. Angie Costello, who was kind of recently joined the crew, had to step down and resigned, so she is no longer with youth services. Courtney is taking over her spot. And then for a status change, Holly DeBose, who works part-time in the circulation department, also now is working part-time in both youth services and circulation. So she's now a full-time employee, splitting her time between the two departments. So she's helping out in youth services as an associate. We had 3 anniversaries in the month of May. Dory DeRoche, who's been in circulation for 26 years. Mallory, our lovely Dory, has been with Adult and Teen Services for 3 years. And Kate Whittakin in circulation for 17 years. We have our upcoming board meetings June 5th at the Committee of the Whole, and then June 17th, our regular board meeting. And that will be the end of fiscal year 25. So looking at stats, our physical items went down a little bit in the month of April, but overall, year to date, between this year and last year, we're up 5%. Our e-resources went up 12% during the month of April 2025 from April 2024. And year to date for fiscal year 25, our e-resources went up 39%. For some reason, Messenger library, our reciprocal borrowing with them has gone up a lot. So it was 57% more this month than it was last year this time. And overall, it's 56% higher than fiscal year 24. Let's see, other things, year to date for fiscal year 25, we've added 861 library cards, new library card holders.
Wow.
And for visitors and room usage, the library, our library visitors went down slightly in April of this year, but overall, year to date, our visitation has increased by 37% from fiscal year 24 at this time. So that's a nice increase.
Mhm.
Our study room usage went down a lot in April, which I don't know, maybe it's because it was spring break in April, or was that March? But for whatever reason, it went down. But overall, our study room usage is up 9% from the previous year. And then moving down to our database sessions, it's a 94% increase from fiscal year 24. And then, let's see, website page views is up 54% for the month of April compared to last year in April. Overall, 79% increase in website views for this fiscal year compared to last year. And our Instagram followers have gone up 13% from year to date for fiscal year 25 compared to fiscal year 24. And interestingly, even though we're not actively using TikTok, that also has increased. We're still waiting to see what the fate of TikTok is, so we haven't been actively using it. Then going on to the working budget, our total expenses for, total materials expenses are at 63%, which is a little on the low side. But our personnel expenses are at 75%, which is just where you want to be when you have 2 months left in the fiscal year. Our operating expenses are a little on the low side at 60% spent of our budget. You know, there could be many reasons for that, but sometimes bills will come in at the end of the fiscal year and, you know, we should be caught up more so. But anything that's left over is what's part of our transfer to special reserves. So it's all still has very good use. Our equipment and technology is about 61%. The total library fund expenses are at 71%, almost 72% of the overall budget, which is a healthy place to be in at this time, with 2 months left. And then on the last page of the budget for our special reserve fund 40, the ending fund balance right now is at $5,218,764. And we will be transferring over $1 million at the end of the fiscal year, so that will go up to over $6 million at the end of June.
Since we're on that page, the next fund is the development fund.
Yeah.
You laugh.
Yes, and your question.
The question is, to what is that earmarked? What can we do with that? Because it's a rather enticing balance.
Yes, well, I can tell you right now that I know 20,000 of it is through a donation from Joanne and Ray Smith. They did $10,000 donation in 2022 and then another $10,000 donation in 2023. And they wanted it earmarked for the Makerspace renovation project. The remaining 66,000 is, I'm gonna have to turn it over to Don. He may have a better understanding of what that is, where it's from.
Just a long-term accumulation of funds over the years.
With discretion to use as will. My
I
trip
think
to
someone's paper here.
paper
Page
rules.
That's it.
24.
Some is restricted and some is not,
Okay.
so, oh yeah, that's very small print too.
So
Oh,
that
that's much better.
20,000 would have been a restricted.
Right.
Yeah. Mhm.
Which line item is this we're talking about?
The development fund.
It's Development Fund 50.
Fund 50. Toward the bottom.
Gotcha.
Page.
So Smiths want the entire amount to go to Makerspace?
Their donation, yeah.
Well, I'm going to be talking with them soon, just to confirm what their intention was. But as far as I know, that was the intended use of the money. Any questions? Anyone? Okay, then we can turn it over to Lisa for services.
All right, I feel like every month I stand up here and go, it's another busy month of new services, but April was busy, as Joe noted earlier, the very end of March and the very beginning of April, spring break straddled both months is what I'm trying to say, so it was kind of hopping. We finished our registered spring story times at the end of April. We offer a few kind of what I call one-offs in May, but it's kind of a slow month for us, so regularly registered things we end at the end of April, but we continue to do have some really strong attendance. We sadly have tried throughout the school year some drop-in story times because we got a lot of feedback. Hey, we really want this. We tried it. I can tell you the stats do not support that, sadly. So we are going to be doing a few here and there, but not committing staff and time to doing that on a consistent basis every single week for every age. We also had same kind of results with weekend story times. Folks said they wanted to come, and consistently we had no attendance, all 1 or 2 people. And again, sadly, that doesn't really support having them all the time. So going forward, I think what we're going to move to is more of a family story time where you can bring more ages and offer things like evenings and weekends. Then you can bring children of multiple ages. I think that'll be more successful than focusing on a specific age when it comes to those at the timing of those programs. sensory playtime that we offer on a monthly basis, no surprise, continues to do really well. We tried an experiment with that as well. Usually it's offered on one Friday a month, and in April we offered it on a Saturday. It did well, but it was the same exact folks that come on Friday morning. So again, more of a staffing challenge for us. It takes a lot of time to set up, clean up, and administer it. So I think we're going to continue to offer that on Fridays, and again look at opportunities with a wider age range for weekend programming. Elementary programs, our full-time associate Mary Podrasky tried something called Yums and Crumbs. Anything that involves food is always popular, no matter the age. So you see a picture there. They're creating some healthy roll-up sandwiches. They had a great time. But what we learned from spring break this year is that, again, more age-specific programs just don't do well. Folks want to come. They want to bring all ages. More than I want to bring my second through fourth grader to a program. So we will keep that in mind going forward for next year in spring break. Young Scientist was a new test program that one of our associates tried, and they in April they were learning about nocturnal animals. So she had all kinds of hands-on activities, like just determining if a scent of an animal is stronger if it's warmer or cooler outside. So a lot of fun with science. With that one. As was mentioned earlier, we had a youth component for One Book, One Batavia this year. The kids downstairs read Allies by Alan Gratz. Our local middle school, Bertolo, had a book discussion. We also had a book discussion as part of Pizza and Pages, which is a program that we've offered in the past, and we had 6 enthusiastic middle schoolers, which might not sound like a lot, but getting 6 middle schoolers to a program is always a victory. There's just too many things competing for their attention. During spring break, we also had the Laura Doherty concert, which was a lot of fun. And going back again to One Book, One Batavia, we offered several programs, some family-centered and some more age-specific to support Allies by Alan Gratz, which was set during World War II. So we had a showing of the movie The Wizard of Oz, which, believe it or not, was released in August 1939, which was just a hair before the start of the war. So that was kind of fun. You can't go wrong with The Wizard of Oz. Amy Marks had a World War II candy taste testing, and again, candy, who doesn't love candy? So they had a great time, and that was a family program, so that did very well as well. And as was mentioned earlier, I partnered with Mallory Manning from Adult and Teen Services, and we were very fortunate to have a local vet reach out to us and see that we were offering this program, and he said, I would love to come and volunteer my time and basically lead the program. And we're like, hey, come on down. And it sounds so silly, but he knew how to open things, and he had great stories, and it was a really wonderful intergenerational program, and that made it a lot of fun. I had seniors along with little kids and some teenagers, and it was quite adventuresome. Everybody was pretty game to try everything, and we learned a lot. So it was a good time, and I was very grateful for his help on that. With outreach, we were very lucky that the Batavia Park District invited us this year to come to their annual egg hunt, and they were showcasing some improvements that they made to a park on the Clark Island recreation area. And it was kind of an interesting setup, a little bit challenging to get out there and get everything set up, but boy did that pay dividends. We had 288 people that Kristen Zambo and Amy Marks visited with, and so that is a huge win. Just to have the library staff out there talking about our programs. The prize wheel is always fun, so we had library trivia and had some wonderful giveaways, and then Amy had a potato stamping program too, so kids could create some art, so it was a good time. As was mentioned earlier, Misty and I went to the Kiwanis meeting, and I talked a little bit about what we do in youth services. And then at the end of April, I also came to the Friends of the Library end of the year brunch and told them all about the wonderful things we do in youth services. So it was really fun to kind of brag on our department. And then last but not least, every month, as you know, we have a different theme for dramatic play. It was Flower Shop in the month of April. So we had all kinds of fun with sorting it by color and counting and things like that. And I know I mentioned it last month as well, but there was a group of IMSA students called Think Natural, Live Sustainable that approached us, and they were very interested in putting together a scavenger hunt and also leading a program. So the program took place in March, but they also put together a really fun sustainability scavenger hunt. So that was our theme for the month of April. Any questions?
What day does Young Scientists meet on?
Usually Wednesdays, and it's been kind of an experiment. She used to have a literacy program called Book Buzz, and like a lot of our programs for that age, it kind of ebbs and flows. So that started to have low attendance, so we tried Young Scientists. That one is probably going to go up and down as well, so thank you for asking.
Well, I'm asking because, excuse me, I know that, for example, the first graders in Batavia years ago studied animals with backbones. And I thought if there was some way that you could like contact the teachers to let them know what your Young Scientist group was doing, you know, maybe they could walk over with their class on that day and participate.
Oh, that would be fun. I'll have to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
That's a great suggestion. Thank you.
Plans in second grade.
Ah, well, there you go. Just when I think I've got that curriculum all sorted out, then they shoot something on me. But no, that's a wonderful idea. Thank you. Any other questions?
Just a comment. I appreciate you providing insights on the challenges of programming, and it doesn't just happen. You don't just schedule and it's perfect where times are everything. No, that's really helpful to help us see how complex that is. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Now Megan, with Adult and Teen Services.
So I did want to build off of Daniel's point about summer reading. Since it does start Friday, my office looks really fun at the moment because we've got stockpiles of prizes and coupons. So registration is open now for adults and teens, also for
us, yes.
all ages are open. So everyone can jump on Beanstack now and get excited for reading a lot this summer. But looking back at April, we had a great month in ATS. We had 368 people come to 28 in-person programs. We had 1,325 people participate in 5 passive programs. The bulk of that was the seed library. We gave out more than 1,000 seeds this year, which was very exciting. Marianne, I hope you took advantage. Oh, great. So yeah, that is always a hit. That really technically was March and April, but we don't want to count it twice. So it's just listed for April, but that is a hit every year. So we were happy to have another successful round. We had 10 people attend one virtual program this month, and we had 73 people attend 4 all ages programs. As Liesl was mentioning, it's been nice to be able to offer more intergenerational and all ages programs for our community. We're really working to build on those more and test different things out and see how they work out and what days might be best. I think we're learning a lot, and it's been really fun to offer those more. And we had 286 items delivered to patrons during 10 visits to senior facilities for home delivery this month. Our tournament of books was really popular again. I think it was our biggest participation yet with 222 online votes and in-person votes combined. Because it's been so popular, we're actually going to have a bonus one this summer for a 10th anniversary round. We're going to have to cheat a little bit because, as you might guess, 10 books don't fit in a grid perfectly. But we didn't want to miss the opportunity. So we'll have an opening round with the earliest 4 picks kind of to play for a spot. And then we'll have everyone be able to vote for, our past champions. This year, the Frozen River won, which was kind of a surprise sleeper hit. So that's always fun to see what people end up gravitating towards and what catches on each year. So we were really happy that Laura James ran another really successful round with the help of our friends in promotional services. We, as both Joe and Liesl mentioned, we had One Book, One Batavia. I won't drone on too much about that, but I did just want to mention we did collect 183 pounds of food and personal care items for Operation Support Our Troops. We had 324 patrons attend different themed programming, and we did partner with many of the local schools and veteran organizations. So that was really exciting to have that work out so well this year.
And our most popular programs in April were Books Between Bites and Sundays on Stage. To no surprise, they both had about 80 people come. We've been on a really successful string. I look forward to bragging about our May one, which featured Kathy Hubbard as well.
Bloody.
What a trooper! I mean, so this one was focused on manhunt. I think we were lucky to have the timing pan out with the, I believe it's an HBO show all about the catching Abraham Lincoln. This is the lesson. And then we also had it Sundays on Stage, which was World War II themed radio hour to tie into Books Between Bites. So those were both pretty big hits. We also partnered with a local business. Prairie Path Cycles came and did a bicycle tire repair demonstration. So that it's always nice to have our friends in the community come and help us out with unique programs that we can offer for people. And as Joe mentioned, Misty Jump coordinated a lot of partnerships with local businesses for summer reading too. So we are really grateful to our business community for being so generous with us recently and being such great partners. And lastly, we added a new digital collection. It's called the Chicago Collection from Newsbank to our databases. It features many local newspapers and all of their archives online to get full color images of things like the Chicago Daily News, the Chicago Sun-Times, the Daily Herald, the Kane County Chronicle, and the Aurora Beacon News are all featured in there, along with many others. So people can access them from home or at the library digitally and can actually read the full page even of current issues as well as past issues. So we're really excited to feature that.
It's great that you did the presentation. Could you give us a 1-minute summary of what that was?
Yeah, so I had previously been lucky enough to present at PLA on an audit I did at a past library where I adjusted how we catalog some of our nonfiction items. There's some quirks to the Dewey Decimal System, and some of them involve not putting certain historical topics in the history collection. So women's history, black history, LGBT history, a lot of things like that are considered special topics. So anything covering slavery, the civil rights movement, suffrage movement, there's all kinds of things that are just not in the history section. So I had done an audit and then come up with a different way to use the Dewey Decimal System to classify things, and now I often teach those classes to other libraries and through things like Library Journal. So this one had over 300 library professionals attend, and it's always a really interesting and fascinating, way to talk to people about different ways they're cataloging things and different advancements everyone's making to just try to make things more, more inclusive, better organized, a little more straightforward, and just adapt things to what modern readers and audiences are looking for.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
Other questions or comments?
I'm delighted that you added to the Chicago collection.
Yeah, I think that'll be very popular. I look forward to Kristen really getting the word out for us so that people can really take advantage of it. I think it'll be very popular with people.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
All right. We are on item number 12, which is just a reminder of our upcoming meetings. The COW on June 5th, 2025 at 6:30, and our regular board meeting on June 17th, 2025, also at 6:30. That brings us to the end of our agenda, so I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by trustee Russo and second by trustee Hubbard. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And we're adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Good night.